she's crafted out of 2 fallen trees from Golden Gate Park, and worked in the gallery also over the course of a week with a lot of assistance. We had a chainsaw specialist working with her. Before Colleen, where's Colleen? Here. Maybe Colleen could just talk a little bit about what happened at Golden Gate Park, sort of what she communicated to them and what they did for Gabrielle.
Yeah, so our initial visit, we walked through with the arborist. So on our initial visit to Golden Gate Park, we walked through with their arborist, Kelly Cornell, who sort of showed us a bunch of trees and boughs and parts of trees that needed to be felled for one reason or another, so that Gabriella could then respond and say, oh, this is a good one, or this is the kind of shape, or whatever. So we sort of went through until we found a good set of options that worked in terms of how she wanted to fork the tree. So that's why the olive tree became sort of this basis there, is that she connected with that tree, partly also because it's an olive and the significance that that has. And then we found another bough as well that was from a different type of tree called a pittosporum, or a Victorian box tree. So both of the trees are sort of put together. And, yeah, so she worked with the arborist to sort of find the parts that were just right for what she thought she wanted to put in the space.
So the base, the trunk, is the olive tree, you're saying?
Right, and the most of it is the olive tree.
Okay.
So that the smoother, darker bark is the pittosporum.
Okay.
And the more rough bark and all of the foliage at the top is all the olive. The little berries that or sort of berry things that you see, those are the pittosporum.
How do you spell that?
Pittospuru.
But you know what, actually, can you send us updated label copy?
Yeah.
Because I think I have the original,
Yeah.
with that.
So listen up everybody, listen up. This is another example where we really don't want to barrier this work off from people, because we want people to be able to go like this. But if we see that people are touching it, or just, putting their hands on it, or just sort of not watching themselves, we're going to have to. So this is another instance where it'd be really wonderful for you to help us protect this work as well, and to make sure people are not touching it or not picking at anything, okay? Because this is another one where it would be such a shame to have to put anything in front of it. Yeah.
Did she do the cutting herself?
No, the Colleen mentioned she sent a cutting plan to the Golden Gate Park, and they cut it to her specifications.
Oh, yeah.
And then on site, there were further cuts made that a chainsaw person did for her to her specifications. The grafting techniques that she uses are here, so when you're making sure that each skin of the tree is touching, that's the grafting technique, and then bolting it there. Also, and these are again like nods to grafting techniques. This tree isn't actually going to, get reborn as a new tree. But her idea to make this new species by grafting all these tree parts together. And then you'll see up in the corner these bound parts. That's another grafting technique. And there's a few with red and some really beautiful moments. And there's also a cream colored thread there as well.
So those parts are staying. Sorry.
That's part of her. That's part of her aesthetic. Yeah.
And the wood.
Yeah, the support is part of her aesthetic as well. She always has support. I mean, they're needed, but it's also she does them in a specific way that's part of the look of the piece.
And how long will these pieces last up there?
She thinks that over time they'll dry up and we'll find them on the floor and have to clean them up. Yeah.
What's different to the tree?
It will be destroyed.
Dara, this sounds like an invitational the way you worked with it, but
that's just
not.
how her work is, because it's always site specific. So I did invite her to do a piece here, but it's not like the invitational. It's more of a commission almost. Yeah.
Did you use the word fort?
What's that?
Support.
What did you say?
These supports are part of how she creates the tree.
Do we know her thinking about what she wants us to get out of this piece?
I think this idea of creating a new species of trees. We did this really wonderful video where she's talking about the work that's going to be put up online soon, and maybe you can get it even sooner. Maybe Janine can talk to Daryl about it. It's wonderful, and there's Colleen at the park talking about it the day the tree was taken down, and there's, and then Gabriella in the space talking about it, as well as some footage of it being built.
And these were already dead trees.
She only uses trees that are slated to be taken down. Yeah. Behind you is the Kim Abeleys. You can see it's tilting to the left, which is she's going to come and fix it on Wednesday. And on the left is the Youth and Truria Giving Tree, and the notice for its paper bag piece as well.
And the lighting will be a little different on the Giving Tree.
Yeah, the lighting isn't finished in the gallery. Yeah. It's not where she lives, it's the space, it's right around City Hall. At the center of that space is City Hall. I think it's both. She's quoting some of the trees and then sort of,
So she took the book and cut out